Aging gracefully. Simple hygiene habits for feeling your best every day. Hey there, friends, and welcome to Meaningful Living. It's always a joy to connect with you. My name's Michelle. Paul and I are constantly searching for the most helpful and interesting information to share with you. How are you doing today? Are you feeling good? Drop a few words in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And speaking of feeling good, with summer just around the corner, are you finding yourself spending more time in the garden? If so, please remember to take care of yourselves while you're out there. Hydrate, wear a hat, and dress comfortably. Taking care of ourselves, especially as we get a little older, is so important, isn't it? And that brings us to today's topic, one that might surprise you. A deep dive into the incredible, often overlooked process of cellular renewal and truly effective personal hygiene. The silent dance of our cells. You know, we often think of our bodies as pretty static once we reach a certain age, but that's just not true. We're made of countless cells, and each one has its own lifespan. Scientifically, it's called the Hayflick limit. Basically, each cell can divide about 50 times before its life cycle naturally ends. After that, these cells begin to age, and they're no longer as useful to our bodies. They need to be removed. Now, you might imagine all our cells sitting neatly in rows like little soldiers. But oh, if only. Our cells are constantly moving, a fascinating dance happening inside us all the time. I was truly amazed to learn just how much movement each cell performs to keep our bodies functioning perfectly and how they connect with other cells. And what happens when a cell's life cycle comes to an end? Here's the remarkable part. Every single aging cell in our body strives to move to the body's surface. Let's clarify what surface means, because it's more than just our skin. Think about your digestive system, from your mouth all the way through to the end. That's actually considered an external surface, not an internal one, because food enters and eventually exits. So, many cells aim for the surface of the digestive tract, from your mouth, throat, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Then there's your respiratory system. Your nose, throat, trachea, and bronchi, all part of this external pathway. Gas exchange, where our bodies take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, only happens at the tiny air sacs called alveoli. The rest of that space is often called dead space by physiologists, meaning it's essentially an extension of the outside world. And guess what? Older cells exit there too. And of course, there's our skin, the most obvious surface. So, all these older, aging cells try their best to leave their current spot and move to the surface of these systems. Your mouth, nasal passages, eyes, trachea, bronchi, the entire digestive tract, and our genitourinary system. It's perfectly normal, a physiological process designed to keep us healthy. Why do they do this? So they can be shed from our bodies. And how are they shed? Through washing and exfoliation, among other processes. This brings us to a super important point: how we cleanse ourselves. The art of thorough cleansing. Let me tell you, friends, thorough washing isn't just about feeling clean. It's about actively helping your body shed these old cells. And thorough means being mechanical about it, not just a quick splash of water. Personally, you might not believe this, but I take my morning cleansing routine very seriously, sometimes up to an hour and a half.
Why?
Because it's a systematic process to support my body's natural renewal. Michelle's morning routine, a sample for you. Eyes first. When I wake up, the very first thing I do is gently wash my eyes. I make sure my hands are clean with soap, lather up my fingertips, and gently rub my eyelids and around my eyes. Then I rinse with clean water. If it doesn't feel completely refreshed, I'll do it again. There's no harm in being extra gentle. Hair care ritual. Next, I tackle my hair. And oh my, when I first get out of bed, my hair is a sight to behold. I'm sure many of you can relate, whether your hair is short or long. Sleep can make it go every which way. So, I carefully comb my hair multiple times in different directions. This isn't just for neatness. It helps remove any loose, old hair strands that have already lived their life cycle. Comb cleanliness matters. After combing, I meticulously wash my comb twice with soap and a brush.
Why?
because the comb collects not just hair but also microbes, dead skin cells, and old hair follicle cells. Keeping it clean is crucial for hygiene. And a golden rule: never use someone else's comb, and never lend yours. Your comb is a personal hygiene item like your toothbrush. It's not about monetary value. It's about your health. So, after each use, clean it thoroughly and let it dry. Oral hygiene beyond the teeth. Now for the mouth. If you have dentures like I do, remove them and clean them meticulously with a toothbrush and soap. Then, it's time for your mouth itself. It's a common misconception that you only need to brush your teeth. As we age, it becomes even more important to thoroughly cleanse the entire mucous membrane of your mouth. Your gums, the roof of your mouth, and your cheeks. Even dental hygienists suggest cleaning the surface of your tongue, though I personally don't use a toothbrush on my tongue since I don't smoke. Sometimes, if I'm not feeling my best, I'll even do this step twice. A clean mouth isn't just about fresh breath. It's about removing those aging cells and preventing microbe buildup. Facial cleansing. Don't forget your neck. With my mouth clean, it's time for my face. I cleanse my face 3 times with a high-quality cosmetic cleanser. Now, this might not be for everyone. It depends on your skin type and age. I remember in my youth, I simply washed my face with boiled water I'd left out overnight. But as I've gotten older, that feeling of truly clean skin on my fingertips is essential. At 65, I wash my face 3 times with cleanser. And remember, face isn't just what you see on screen. It absolutely includes your neck. As I always say, your face doesn't go anywhere without your neck. Don't forget behind your ears too. You wouldn't believe the splashes and foam around my bathroom after this. But here's my secret. I never wipe my face with a towel. I don't even own a face towel. As I clean up the splashes, my face air dries and the water absorbs. Look at me. At 65, my skin has very few wrinkles. This is partly because I consistently remove those aging cells. Nasal passages. While washing my face, I also thoroughly cleanse my nasal passages 3 times with a soapy finger. This helps remove old cells and keeps things clear. Cough it out. Upper body clearing. This might sound odd, but it's important to consciously cough occasionally.
Why?
To help clear out those aging cells from your trachea and vocal cords. It's a simple, natural way to help your upper respiratory system stay clear. The critical areas. Why hygiene prevents odor and promotes health. Now, let's talk about other crucial areas, specifically the perineal area. This zone requires particularly meticulous care.
Why?
Remember I said that if old cells aren't removed, they can negatively impact younger cells, sending signals to stop functioning? It's like bad apples spoiling the bunch. This applies to the genitourinary system as well. Those old cells need to be diligently washed away. But there's another very important reason. Think about an elderly person who might not be as meticulous about their hygiene. What's often the first thing you notice? A distinctive odor. This isn't meant to be judgmental, but it's a reality we need to address for our own comfort and dignity. We often get used to our own scent, thinking we don't smell, but others can, and the smell can become very concentrated. Where does this odor come from? Yes, sometimes from an unwashed scalp, but primarily from 2 key areas, the mouth and the perineal region. Here's a little secret. In the perineal area, not only do old cells accumulate, but also secretions from the sexual organs and urinary tract. All of this combines to create a perfectly moist environment for microbes to thrive. These microbes feast on the old cells and these secretions, producing very unpleasant smelling substances. This is what leads to strong body odor. And another secret. Do you think you can cover up this odor with perfume? Here's the truth. Even the most expensive perfumes are often made from animal secretions, like those from the urinary tracts of pigs or cattle. When highly refined and used in small amounts, they create unique aromas. But applying them to an unwashed body doesn't eliminate the underlying issue. It just mixes smells, creating a truly repulsive concentration. If you don't keep your mouth and genitourinary system clean, the odor will be noticeable, even through your breath. And if you generally neglect showering, perspiration odors will also be strong across your whole body. So, my dear friends, it's not about needing a full shower every single day, if that's not feasible. But it is about meticulously washing certain areas: your mouth, nasal passages, eyes, and neck. That's the upper part. And then the genitourinary/perineal system. These are the two areas that demand truly thorough cleansing.
Why?
Because this is how we remove those aged, non-viable cells that would otherwise become food for microbes. And it's precisely because old cells and secretions accumulate in these moist areas that microbes proliferate and produce those pungent, unpleasant odors. Trying to mask this with perfume will only make the combined scent incredibly off-putting. Is this just for older people? Absolutely not. Cell death and renewal start around age 25. So, young people, men and women alike, remember to pay special attention to your mouth and your perineal area. Regarding oral hygiene, the mouth can be a tricky area to control fully. Dental plaque and tartar often accumulate. While flossing helps, regular visits to your dentist to remove plaque and tartar are crucial. Removing these allows food particles and old cells to be washed away, preventing microbes from settling and producing foul odors. Please, my dears, remember this. I know it's not pleasant to discuss these things, but I will, because I truly wish you well. The most beautiful scent is the scent of a clean body. I speak with many younger people, and seeing my age, they often feel comfortable sharing their concerns. They'll tell me, the most attractive thing about a person is their natural clean scent. But if they have an unpleasant odor, no matter what clothes they wear or what makeup they use, that offensive smell is just so off-putting. So I urge you again, carefully protect these two body areas, your mouth and your perineal area. I also highly recommend this simple method. After a bowel movement, thoroughly wash the perineal area. Then dry it completely and put on clean underwear. If you do this, you will never have a repulsive, sickening odor. And as you get older, the stricter and more specific you need to be about caring for these two areas. I'll repeat, you don't smell your own scent. But remember that aging cells want to leave the body so they don't interfere with the healthy functioning of younger cells. Please keep this in mind. Thanks for tuning in, my dear friends. I hope this discussion about simple but incredibly important hygiene habits has helped you realize just how much they impact our well-being, health, and even how others perceive us. Remember, beauty and dignity go hand in hand with cleanliness. This isn't just about appearance. It's about respect for yourself and for the people around you. By listening to your body and maintaining these simple yet thorough hygiene habits, you are actively helping your body, supporting its natural renewal processes, and ensuring your freshness and comfort throughout the day. Allow yourself this care, this time for yourself. After all, the feeling of freshness and cleanliness is one of the most important components of feeling your best at any age. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to Meaningful Living for more tips and inspiration to enrich your daily life. We're here to help you live your best life. Until next time, stay healthy, happy, and shine bright.